Yo, today we have a newsletter insight, and the newsletter is called The Importance of Balance, Why You Should Maintain a Balance. And before I get into it, it is Ramadan as this video is being posted. The day is the first day of Ramadan, so I hope everyone has a blessed month with a lot of success coming your way. In the past few years of my life, I have seen a lot of advice being given. I have seen a lot of advice given to people about adjusting your lifestyle to that of which you focus on your career. They often promote self discipline, focus, solitude, and consistency. These are great when you are putting it towards your career and passions. However, when receiving these pieces of advice, sometimes balance is not stressed enough. And I stick by that. And this was written on the 4th of December. And it's currently the 10th of March, and I still agree with that wholeheartedly. People will take the advice, run with it, lose balance, and feel drained and lost after a while. I've been there myself, and of course, I relate to that because, like how I said, I've been through that myself, where I've focused so much on one aspect of my life, and especially when it comes to like business or university or even as I am work. When I worked in different companies, you put so much of your life and your soul into one thing that things come out of balance and you just lose control. And that's why this post here, I love it because it stresses on balance, which is not something that's really like echoed. Which I've been in like I've seen like personal development and self improvement over the past 4 years, and this was not something that's at the forefront, but it's great to talk about because it's so essential to having a holistically happier life. I created a list 2 years ago called the 4 E's, and this was actually maybe it's been 3 years now since we are in March, and I love this 4 E's that I made because it is basically it's focused on, well, let's read it and see what exactly I have to say. The 4 E's. Number one, education. Number two, entrepreneurship and career. Number three, extracurricular activities. And number four, entertainment and socializing. These 4 E's sum up a lot of the time we invest into the daily and yearly activities in our lives. Most of the imbalance people face is because is when they pour all of their energy into one facet and neglect the others. And very, very, very true. And this 4 E's was just kind of like a brief way for me to separate the biggest facets of my life and be able to more smoothly channel my energy once I know the big chunks of what I'm occupied with, especially during that time when I was in university. I was able to separate all of it and realize, okay, how am I going to split up my week with regards to these 4 E's, and also help me kind of separate the friendships I had, because I start to understand more of who I can hit up for what reasons and where our interests lie. And I'm gonna keep reading on to see what else I had to say. For example, students who want to ace their tests might put all of their energy into studying and neglect exercising or socializing. You have those students that they're straight A students, but they look like they need to hit the gym, and they look like they need to get in shape. They need to get whether they're too skinny or they're too fat, they need to get in shape. And that's the common case of someone not being very balanced in their life. An engineer looking to progress his career may neglect playing sports or learning from books. So you have someone who's so invested in their career that they don't take time to invest time into education. So when you start asking him about the alphabet, this guy don't know anything about the alphabet, or he hasn't read any books, or he's just not really keen to educate himself, which is not a very good attitude to have. Someone interested in boxing may neglect time with his family. And sometimes you go boxing camps, which is like 8 to 12 weeks. You might not see your family, and there are extreme cases where people would neglect their family in the whole year, throughout the whole year, but you need to kind of have that balance. And there are factors that may stop you from doing it, but you should have that one of the priorities, so that you can fit your life around it, because it's so essential to having a balanced mind state, but having one that's happy and one that you can fulfill all of your needs, because there's so many rights that you have to fulfill in your life, and it's not just your rights, the rights of others, the rights of God. So many rights you have to fulfill that you need to make sure that you're trying your best to fulfill those rights, you know. These all cause problems long term because we are not spreading out our time and energy into our other facets. You can increase how much you work on something compared to others in the short term, but long term this will have negative effects on your mental health, relationships, and physical health, depending on what it is you are neglecting. So if you're focusing on one of these, only one, you're neglecting all other three, which leaves you in a very bad state that will eventually you'll crash out, burn out, feel like you are overwhelmed, feel like you're missing out on something, and that is a call for you to start looking for balance. Balance is important because you split your efforts into your own improvement, career, entertainment, relationships, and health. Taking time to divide your focus will slowly improve your overall lifestyle greatly in the long term. Take a slower approach and spread your time over all facets, and you will be more satisfied because you spend more time fulfilling your own passions, spending time with those you care about, and your physical health. So yeah, of course, if you spread your focus and your attention into all facets, you'll achieve less in all facets because your time is being divided. However, that's when attention to detail comes in, where in your specific situations you can up the notch on one facet of your life, and for that period of time focus more on that, and then when that time period is finished, then spread it back out evenly. But in general, if you're just an average time where there's no need for intense focus on one area, keep it balanced so that you can have a more whole and more happy life. This post is a reminder that you should remember to maintain a balance in the long term. You can make it a long-term goal to aspire to, so don't get too caught up in one facet of your life and leave other factors unchecked. Yeah, try your best to keep everything checked because it's very essential to have that balance. Maintaining balance is a great way to maintain great mental health in the long term, so take this opportunity to consider how you incorporate this or other structures into your life. Very, very important. I hope balance is something that you've been more aware of now, and it's something that I had to kind of take that warning of once my life started to crash during that time when I made the 4 E's. That's when I figured how important balance is, and I'm always remembering how important it is. So I hope this has been of value to you. I will do the next newsletter directly after this one, so stay tuned for both videos.